Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios, Kokomlemle in Accra, at digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including Pad FM in Damongo, Jubilee FM in Keta, and Sunshine FM in Boko. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, SuperSem, Build Your Dream, Telesol 4G, just a touch in this edition. We need jobs. Some unemployed Ghanaians cry out in latest episode of Joy News Citizen Driven series, Dear Nanado.
If I'm asked to write a letter to the president, I will tell him that as a child, I'm pleading that he pays attention to Nungua.
You will bring one factory and one district. That's what's killing me now. Because as I'm talking to you right now, I don't have work. I'm not working.
We've got the details plus what government says it's done so far. Auditor General hints of fresh probe that will look at processes leading to award of contracts for state projects abandoned after completion.
They can buy vehicle and pack it. They can build a hospital and not use it. We can build a school and not use it. It is an offense against the nation. And if it is your government or not your government, we must speak against it. So let me assure you that as for audit service, we are going to look at the full chain.
We'll also hear from the Chinese ambassador to Ghana, who says media reports on Galamsey have overshadowed benefits of bilateral relationship between Ghana and China.
The number of people engaged in this illegal activity has reduced sharply. Only a few Chinese people are still doing that.
We'll hear from him as Anti-Galamsey Task Force Operation Vanguard arrests 7 Chinese nationals for illegal mining. We have sports.
Team Ghana still in contention for more medals as the male and female relay teams hit the tracks later today in the 4x100 meters relay final.
And you have anger issues? Later, we'll tell you how to control it and possibly your urge to kill.
So I don't get annoyed. If somebody annoys you, you have to count in your head 1, 2, about 5, 6 in your head. When he was annoying you, because when the team comes, you feel the urge to kill.
We have lessons from a World War II veteran later in the bulletin with me, Emefa Apau. And in the lead up to the 2016 elections, then presidential candidate Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his team put out a major promise to create jobs for the millions of unemployed Ghanaians in the country.
Manifesto number. Messi, one Tuma FPP, Tuma Baba Sekadi Takwadi, Iya Jumaye, and my former be Jumaye, the painful be a business I. This country will be transformed. As the Kabikata will be transformed. You will be transformed. Your children will be transformed. Your children will be transformed. The destiny of this nation will change and change forever.
It's been 2.5 years already, and earlier this month, the government put out statistics on the jobs it's created so far. Employment Minister Ignatius Bafwewa gave the details, but also mentioned that more than 400,000 Ghanaians are searching for jobs. We'll hear from him in a bit, but in the following excerpt of our citizen-driven series, Dear Nanado, Jojo Kobina visited the suburb of Teshinungwa to speak to the young people asking the president to help out.
One district, one factory. And one district, one dam.
The one district, one factory, one village, one dam.
Kwame JC is a proud member of the NPP in the Krowo constituency of the Greater Accra region. He brandishes a card to show his commitment to the party and touts the achievements of President Nana Akufo-Addo.
I'm a staunch NPP member. This is my card. At Nungwa here, they are constructing a park at Notika. If you go close to the sea, you can see that they are putting up an ice block company.
Ice block.
It was at this point that he became a lone ranger. Many of the people who were eavesdropping on his conversation sharply disagreed with him. Then they started heckling him. That even includes a young man who claimed he campaigned for the NPP.
Maybe some say about maybe some say or no or see Iceberg company. Maybe some say Iceberg company no ya no. Me kwa me sister to be wo ye fie no. E ye fie no company.
Many residents of Nungua gathered here are politically active. Kwame concedes that the president still has many promises to fulfill, especially creating jobs.
Youth know because of Adumaya and Jebinum San Numni and Nemanfata.
The youth need jobs. They are indulging in a lot of social vices. They are becoming armed robbers, weed smokers, and alcoholics. If they had jobs, they wouldn't engage in these. Look at the issues of kidnapping. If the person is not working and is hungry, you have the thought to do evil. If I'm asked to write a letter to the president, I will tell him that, as his child, I'm pleading that he pays attention to Nungua. I've lived here for 24 years, and I've never seen any government project here, so I'm on behalf of the youth pleading that he puts up a company for us.
I really vote for him. I really vote for Nana Akufo-Addo. Yeah, I vote for him.
Samuel Adokwe lost his job last year. His company needed to cut down cost of production, so he was laid off. Securing another job has been difficult.
I do remember he promised that he will bring one factory and one district. That's what's killing me now, because as I'm talking to you right now, I don't have work. I'm not working. I was working at PFC Pioneer at Fishing Harbour, and all of a sudden they just call us and announce that there is a lighting system problem that is doing so. So some of us have to go home and then we'll be called later. But up to now, they have not called us.
Well, that's their message to the president. The government is yet to honor a Joy News attempt for an interview. But the government has said it's making processes in terms of job creation, or making progress in terms of job creation. Here's Ignatius Bafwewa addressing the media earlier this month.
It is my pleasure to announce that during the period under review, a total of 611,397 jobs were created in the formal sector. Out of this figure, the ministries, departments, and agencies accounted for 343,458 jobs, whilst the formal private sector also created 267,939 jobs. In addition to these new jobs in the formal sector, the ever-famous Planting for Food and Jobs program is estimated to have created 1,593 jobs from 2017 to date. The figures from the respective institutions can be accessed from the ministry's website, www.melr.gov.gh.
Ignatius Bafwewa is the employment minister addressing the media earlier this month. The full episode of Dear Nanado airs at 7:20 p.m. on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Do make a date. Now, Auditor General Daniel Domelevo has hinted of a fresh probe that will look at the processes leading to award of contracts for projects that are abandoned after completion. Stories of abandoned schools, hospitals, and various projects have been told time and again from different parts of the country. Former President John Dramani Mahama, who has been touring parts of the country this week, had reason to express disappointment that schools started during his administration has been left to rot. Listen to him.
In my rounds, touring the communities and the country, I have often drawn attention to the criminal abandonment of projects. And this is one very good example. Almost complete full secondary school, community day school. You can even see fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers have been installed. Ready to go. I remember it's one of the World Bank funded projects that we got. There were 23 of them. And then the remaining number of 100 we were funding, through government resources. And if you go around the country, you'll find them at different stages of completion. Some have almost been completed, and yet they remain unoccupied. If you look at the children in that community and surrounding communities, they have to travel, several kilometers to go and get a secondary education when a whole secondary school is just at their doorsteps. It just needs a little more to complete it, and then children would have gone into them. There are some that I know that have been completed. It's just left to filling it with the children, but government has not done what it takes.
You have the former President John Dramani Mahama. Well, Auditor General Daniel Domelevo is worried about this trend. He says a special audit of that will consider the entire procurement chain and will look at abandoned projects. He spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express on Monday.
One of the areas that Ghanaians have not even addressed their minds to, which beats my mind and understanding, is the fact that people buy just for the sake of buying, not because they need it.
True.
They can buy a vehicle and park it. They can build a hospital and not use it. We can build a school and not use it.
Yeah.
And I say, what kind of country is this? Yeah. People don't look at that. People say there is value for money just because this pen is selling at 10 cedis and you bought it at 10 cedis. But then the guy has bought the pen and thrown it away. Will any normal human being do that? But I think you, the media, even the Joy, I think I've seen you showing vehicles, showing a whole lot of things. With that. As a country, we have to wake up. This is not an offense which should be looked at as a partisan issue. It is an offense against the nation. And if it is your government or not your government, you must speak against this. Otherwise, we are never going to progress as a people. So let me assure you that as for audit service, we are going to look at the full chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard that the Auditor General Daniel Domelevo, now Chairman of the Internal Audit Board, Joseph Winful, meanwhile says internal auditors must be able to block award of contracts for projects that are not necessary.
We shouldn't wait. If I look at even the struggle of our government and mobilizing resources, and then we spend the same scarce resources on wasted material. I mean, I remember some years back when we were doing a World Bank assignment that we went to one of the MMDAs, and they had stationery that could last 100 years. It wasn't necessary, but because somebody was going to get a percentage, they kept on ordering it. This should have been stopped, definitely, by the internal auditor, because there are controls. Before an order takes place, one is budgeted for, and apart from it being budgeted for, you ensure that you've reached the minimum level that you have to be holding because of the lead time in supplies and so on and so forth. So you'll be checking all these controls to make sure that, no, we cannot go into this. No, this has not been budgeted for. Internal audit will have to also include getting value for whatever we are investing in.
You heard that Joseph Winful, Chairman of the Internal Audit Board. Now, let's talk about the revelations contained in the Contracts for Sale documentary, where it came up that the PPA boss's company was involved in the sale of some contracts, and that is being investigated. But the opposition NDC says the suspension of the former PPA boss, Ejenim Boateng Ejei, is an attempt to shield government officials involved in the infamous contract for sale scandal that has hit the Procurement Authority. My colleague, Parker Wilson, is at that press conference and joins us on the line. I'm sure the NDC is aware that Shraj, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, amongst others, are looking into this. What else do they want?
Well, so in fact, they're saying that it's all a ruse, only a deception and a knee-jerk reaction. There are real government officials involved in the scandal, and then these individuals should also be investigated and prosecuted. For them, as I said, a knee-jerk reaction, and they want the former PPA boss to be dismissed and not suspended. Again, they're saying that the PPA board cannot mount any defense by saying they are not complicit in this whole scandal. And so the president should quickly also dissolve the board. And finally, they are saying that the president himself does not really is not dealing with corruption, and that all the things he said when he was in opposition was just a ruse to let Ghanaians know that he can deal with the corruption, but in actual sense, is not really dealing with corruption.
So what they are saying essentially is that the process is ongoing. They do not trust.
They do not trust the process. They know that the president at the end of the day will come and clear the PPA boss and also the board. And for them, they wouldn't be actually surprised, but they want all other officials involved in the scandal prosecuted as well.
You heard my colleague Parker Wilson at that NDC press conference, which is still underway. We'll get more in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, the Ghana Institute of Procurement and Supply says it will summon the suspended Chief Executive Officer of the Public Procurement Authority, Ejenim Boateng Eje, to respond to allegations of corruption and conflict of interest after his company was exposed for selling government contracts. Now, the PPA boss is scheduled to meet the special prosecutor on Thursday, but even before that, his membership of the Institute of Procurement and Supply seemed to be on the line as he prepares to face executives of the Institute. President of the Institute, Collins Ajiman Sapong, gave the hint on PM Express.
We are writing to him. We'll give him a time to meet our Ethics and Professional Standard Committee.
Okay, you haven't done that yet?
Not yet, because a letter had been signed. It will be sent to him.
It's been almost a week.
We got it on Thursday, and Thursday evening we issued our statement. And we had this Friday. Remember, yesterday was Monday, and I know the letter is ready and it's going to go.
When
and
are you
in our constitution, the member need to have at least a framework of about 14 days.
That is after he's received the letter. When is he receiving the letter?
Hopefully by tomorrow he'll receive it.
Okay.
So from there we'll start counting the 14 days for him to appear. Then from there we are also writing to Manasseh to get a copy
of the documentary.
Because we cannot just pick what is on the net. We need to make everything. Then from there they will call him or he will come because we need to give him the opportunity to respond to the issues found in the video.
You heard there Collins Ajiman Sapong. He's the president of the Institute of Procurement and Supply. Meanwhile, Mr. Ejenim Boateng Eje has 10 days to give a response to charge on the allegations of conflict of interest leveled against him as well. We're keeping our eyes on that. But away from that, China's ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Shi Ting-wang, is unhappy of a constant negative report on some Chinese nationals engaging in illegal mining and other activities. He says these reportages seem to overshadow all the benefits Ghana is enjoying as a result of the bilateral relationship with the Asian giant. According to him, China has invested heavily in the area of electricity, scholarships and factories under the 1D, 1F policy, among other things. He was responding to a question on what he makes of Ghana's recent amendment of the Minerals and Mining Act, seeking to proffer stiffer punishment to offenders.
The Asokoli power plant is invested by Chinese companies. This power plant produces 20% of your total power in Ghana. And we have another one, that is Bui Dam. That Bui Dam produces 10% of the total power generation of whole Ghana. Put it together, the Chinese investment here for the power generation, if we put it together, it accounts for 30 to 40%. That is huge. That is because of the China's investment that you could be able to enjoy that no power cut in Ghana.
Meanwhile, Shi Ting-wang says the government of China is against such illegal activities and will continue to support Ghana to fight galamsey.
The Chinese government, our government's position is very clear. That is what we are opposed. We are against any Chinese people engage any illegal activities in Ghana and in the other countries. So because of the cooperation between China and Ghana to fight against those galamsey and illegal miners, the number of people engaged in this illegal activity has reduced sharply. Only a few Chinese people are still doing that in Ghana. I'm not denying there are still very, very few people. But these very few people, we cannot be able to trace them. They are in the remote areas.
You heard there China's ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Shi Ting-wang. Meanwhile, 7 Chinese nationals have been arrested for engaging in illegal mining in the western region by some soldiers of the Operation Vanguard team. The suspects were arrested in a day-long patrol on Tuesday at Niamote in the Wassa Ekropon district. Now, 2 locally manufactured rifles, a pump-action gun, including some other equipment, were found in their possession. We can hear from the public relations officer of the Operation Vanguard, Captain Andrew
Yesterday, we conducted the operation in the general area of Ania Mote in the Wasa district. We were able to conduct the operation based on intelligence that we gathered over a period of time, and then with assistance from local informants who were able to help us identify the areas where this Chinese nationals have been operating illegally.
So what were they engaged in when you chanced upon them and arrested them?
They were mining illegally with excavators and other equipment.
And where are they now? Are they in custody?
Yes, currently they are in the custody of a team from the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, pending further action.
And I'm sure you've been interrogating them. What have they been saying in their defense?
So what happens is that our mandate, once we arrest this suspected illegal miners, we hand them over to civil police for further investigations, or to the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining if they are foreign nationals. So they are the ones who actually do most of the interrogations, be able to get more information from the suspect. It is currently unclear how long they've been operating in the area, and I'm sure that once they are thoroughly interrogated, we'll be able to get information on all of that. But currently, I cannot speak to how long they've been operating there.
You heard there, Captain Andrew Soate. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, we'll tell you about the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's officially broken ground for 100,000 affordable housing project, and it's expected to be launched. It's actually underway. We'll give you details of that. Also, we'll tell you the chilling story of how a 19-year-old defiled by two men is struggling to secure justice as she drops out of school to mother her child.
I struggled with them until I became too weak to fight them. One of them squeezed my breast and he defiled me first. The other one also took over and had sex with me.
And later, how to control your anger and possibly your urge to kill.
So I don't get annoyed. If somebody annoys you, you have to count in your head 1 to about 5, 6 in your head. When he was annoying you, because when the thing comes, you feel the urge to kill.
We have lessons from a World War II veteran later in the bulletin. We're right back after the break.
Let's go, My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Kremasa, Ghana, so we correct medicine pa. And you make us super. Me a super medicine ankasa. Because our job no enye better. They won't see how beautiful and high quality your work is. That be what them they use believe you. That be why me too. It be only super cement at they use. Cement mu cement. Cement papa. Inti me cries in from because super. Because me the super cement and DVD ra.
Super Cement is designed to ensure that your buildings stand strong for generations. Build with Super Cement. Build your dream. Build.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Benedict has sports now.
Now, Ghana could move up on the medal table at the ongoing African Games as both the male and female relay teams hit the tracks for the 4x100 meters relay final. Now, so also Japan Ho Haluti, Jima a champion, and Persis William Mensah make the female team with the male of Sean Safu entry, Joseph Paul Amwa, Martin Owusu entry, and Benjamin Azamati. They making the male team. Now, our athletics coach, that's Christian Insia, has been speaking about our chances of winning more medals in the track and field event.
In terms of the relays, I'm definite that both the men and women are going to get medals. The question is what color, right? The Nigerians, for example, in the men, they didn't run their top 2 runners in the heats today. But it's a relay. It doesn't necessarily depend on who has the fastest 4. It depends on which team actually runs it as a team. It depends on who can pass the baton fastest. And I think our team has a togetherness. They are the most level-headed amongst the teams around here. And I think with a good day, they can beat the Nigerians. You know.
Also, Grace Obuo has made the finals of the women's 400 meters event after finishing second in the second semi-finals. All events are later this afternoon. Away from the African Games, the Black Queens will take on their counterparts from Gabon in the first leg of the Olympic Games qualifier this afternoon. Now, after weeks of preparations at the Naman Soccer Center of Excellence in Pram, the female senior side are expected to get a good result in Gabon in order to make the second leg a mere formality. That's what's possible.
Thank you very much, Benedict. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has cut sword for the construction of a 200,000 affordable housing project. And my colleague Latif Idris is there for us and joins us, will give us details on that. So, Latif, which area are we talking about?
This is Afiaman. News out there is that the project is being done at Amasaman, but that has been corrected. It is happening at Afiaman. It is very close to Amasaman here in the Ga West municipality. Now, the project, we are told, will cost in excess of $5.3 billion United States dollars, and is expected to provide some 200,000 homes. That is the minimum government is expecting. This, we must also put on record that it is not a government-sponsored project. This is a UN-sponsored project that is happening here in Ghana and in Kenya. These are the two African countries that are benefiting from this United Nations-sponsored project, plus India in Asia. So Ghana's bid is the $5.3 billion United States dollars, which is expected to provide some 200,000 homes. This project, we are told, is going to span between the period of some 5 to 8 years. Now, MFR, this is the catch. We are looking at affordable housing, but the price, the starting price for a home here would cost not less than some 27,500 United States dollars, MFR. The Vice President, we must say, has just finished addressing the entourage government officials who are gathered here, the traditional authority, to witness the launch, which we are told is expected to start anytime soon.
You have my colleague Latif Idris bringing us updates on that new housing project. Now, 3 years after she was allegedly defiled and impregnated by two men in a village near Boko in the Upper East region, 19-year-old Aisha, not her real name, is still fighting to secure justice. Together with her mother, they were compelled to relocate to the Ashanti region because they refused to heed to calls by their relatives to withdraw the case from court. Joy News' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
The cry of Aisha's 2-year-old baby. The mother cannot tell who is father of a child who is yet to experience the warmth of paternal parenthood. None of the alleged culprits of the defilement is prepared to accept responsibility for the outcome of the alleged criminal act. Aisha explains she had turned down a large proposal by one of the boys. He later teamed up with another to trail and subject her to such an ordeal at Atuba.
The particular guy I saw at highways approached me first and gave me hefty slaps. I struggled with them until I became too weak to fight them. One of them squeezed my breast and he defiled me first. The other one also took over.
Little did she know the abuse could result in pregnancy, and she had to name the alleged offenders who denied the accusations. Police in Boko arrested the boys, and for 2 years, Aisha's mother and education authorities have been trekking to court. Abolga Matilda is in charge of girl-child education at the Boko Municipal Education Office.
She was a student at Kwalwega GHS.
Madame Matilda fears their efforts may achieve little or nothing by way of justice.
It's like she has nobody. As at now, it's GS that is fighting for her, GS and then the police. The prosecutor said, oh, we are going to court. And the lawyer has written that we should withdraw this case and go and settle at the community level because they are from the same community.
Aisha was in JHS1 when she ran into trouble. Her colleagues just wrote the Basic Education Certificate Examination BECE without her. She says that alone is eating her up.
I couldn't continue my education again.
Rather sad situation there. But if you've ever had a conversation with a war veteran, you would hear them talk of nightmares, survivor's guilt, depression, and lingering sadness. I'm sure for many of you, you imagine them to have terrible temper and moods. But that's not the case, at least not for 94-year-old Joseph Ashite Hammond, who served in the Gold Coast Regiment and was part of the World War II. He's been giving us some tips on how to control your anger.
Sometimes when I sit quietly in my hall, I see the fighting, crossing river, people dying, the artillery, shelling our positions. At the same time, the enemy dropping bombs. The whole ground shaking. One thing is, if you don't kill, you will be killed. Finish. So only we knew how to kill. But when we were coming home, finally, they assembled all of us, and the commander said, your general said, now you have been taught how to kill people, and you have done it. You have conquered the Japanese. We are victorious over these people. But let me tell you, now you are going to civil life. You have been taught to kill. But when you kill, you'll be tried and hanged. Civil life is different. So if somebody starts annoying you, so I don't get annoyed. If somebody annoys you, you have to count in your head, 1, 2, about 5, 6 in your head. When he was annoying you, because when the thing comes, you feel the urge to kill. It comes on me like that. So I don't get annoyed at all. Because of my experience now, I don't kill even a fowl. During Sergeant Ajete's, I was standing 7 feet. I'm the only one alive. Sergeant Ajete group, I'm the only one that survived. I'm alive now.
You had the war veteran, 94-year-old Joseph Ashite Hammond. The word to the wise is enough. And on that wise words note, we end the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm so grateful for your company. I am MF Apau.